Alright guys, so I am going to be doing the second part of my toolbox tour today. So you already saw the top box, which is what you're sitting on right now. We're going to go over the bottom and the roll cart that's over here to my right. Now if you did not see the first part of this tour, more boring part, check the link in the description below. If you could hit that like button, it's somewhere in this area, maybe this area, somewhere down there, and subscribe if you want, and we're gonna get right into this. Thanks guys. First drawer, we already talked about this a little bit, but we're gonna talk about it now. So we've got the Harbor Freight 6-point SAE sockets, deep well and spark plug socket. And from Cobalt, we have 1/2-inch drive, SAE, and metric 12-point Cobalt, assortment of random sockets, Torx bits, deep well SAEs, 3/8 drive, Swivel, crow's feet, line wrench crow's feet. Those are metric. We have this drop light that I just threw in here due to I was using it today and needed somewhere to throw it. We have some adapters, and again guys, I use this box every day, so this is what it looks like all the time, and sometimes it looks better, sometimes it looks worse. I wasn't going to clean it up for you guys because I'm a mechanic. It's just the way it is. A bunch of random assortments of sockets that I don't have a holder for and don't really care to organize. Like there's an old looks like Stanley extension in there. Don't even know where half of this came from. Just kind of stuff I've collected over the time period of me being a mechanic. 1/2-inch drive, SAE metric, 6-point, 3/8 metric, 6-point and 12-point. My SAE 3/8. Put my adapters back over there. And then my swivels for when I do spark plugs, 1/4-inch drive. In here there is a set of tamper-proof Torx bits. 1/4-inch drive. I needed these for a mass airflow sensor on my car that I was doing, and I didn't have the set from the top box up here. I didn't have that, so I went out and bought those. Just ended up bringing them here. This is where I organize all of my extensions and ratchets. So in this one here, we have my snap-on soft grip 3/8 locking head, 80 or 90 teeth. We have a 3/8 breaker bar that came in my set from Cobalt. We have my long extension. This one is snap-on. I think they're 10-inch or 9-inch or so. This one is Cobalt. Also the Cobalt came in the pack. I had to buy the snap-on off the snap-on truck. Then it's organized by size. This is random 1/4-inch Torx bits and the adapters that I haven't found a place for, like 1/2-inch to 3/4. Chrome, which I don't know why you'd be using chrome on a 1/2-inch, but you've got it if you need it. There's 1/4-inch drive extensions like this little itty-bitty thing, and then 3/8 here with extensions, and 1/2-inch drive with extensions. This is where I keep my wallet, usually my keys, and my cheap old can of dips because I'm broke. So that's where those sit. And then we have a 1/2-inch breaker bar, a 3/8 click type torque wrench from good old Cobalt. I haven't checked calibration on it. I really want to. I'm really interested to see what that says, but it works. I don't torque a bunch of stuff. I mostly just torque filters inside that door right there on those CNG tanks and spark plugs. It's about the only things that torque with 3/8. Everything else is 3/4 or 1/2-inch. And then back here hidden away is the swivel head snap-on 1/2-inch drive, 27-inch I want to say. So this will give you an idea of how big this drawer comes out. There's probably maybe about a finger depth of clearance right there, but it works, you know. This slides in here real nice because it's not deep enough to hold it, so it has to hold it like this. Usually I just kind of put that in there like that and call it a day. In this drawer we have gear wrench, long handle, box end, ratcheting on one side, non-ratcheting on another. With this head, usually tells me which way it's going to ratchet, in or out. I still mess it up. And this is 8, I believe. I don't use this very often, honestly. That's why there's no cover in here, is because this would not fit with the cover in it. It wasn't deep enough. Yeah, all the way down to 8. And then there's some SAE cobalts that I don't have a holder for. And then metric cobalt, and the only way to get them to fit in there was put them in like that. This is 8 through 19. And flash might not have been the best idea for this. My 18's missing because I snapped that and haven't taken it back to Lowe's yet. Or just toss that back in there. And then, really? Sit still. Next drawer down is SAE. There's 2 metrics here. This is an 1 and 1/16 ratcheting. I used that for an F250 that I was doing the transfer case bolt on. This is a 27mm cobalt adjustable, off-brand, some more random stuff. Clutch 1 inch and 15/16 stubbies. These are for Supply Airlines. On these Cummins and Freightliners, there is a steel pipe coming off the air compressor that comes back, goes right there in the door well area, and then it's a steel braided line that comes down and around, loops back to the front on the same side of the engine, and goes to the air dryer. I don't understand why it's built that way, but the only way to break them loose, rusted on, is with these. Sucks. And we have stubby SAEs. This one goes from, looks like 5/16. Yeah, 5/16. I never really use the 5/16. I use most of these bigger ones. 5/16 to 7/8. And then we have the stubbies that are 3/8 to 3/4. Don't get a lot of use out of those and some random other ones, but they work if I need them. Filter straps. So I use these 2 right here the most. This is my oil, my fuel filter, and then all of these are just ones that I've bought and thought they would fit, and they didn't, because I didn't take a filter with me. I actually use this one on our service trucks for the Chevys. I use this one on my old F250. This one was supposed to fit our Fleet Guard filters, but it's too big. This strap wrench came in a kit that actually fit our Fleet Guard filters. Old Cobalt pry bars. Got a lot of use out of these. They're really great. They're not strike through, which kind of sucks, but I still hit them anyways because I don't particularly care. Next drawer down is empty. There are 2 hammers in here. This will be the hammer drawer. I'm waiting on tools from Matco to show up. It's supposed to show up next week, so there will be a lot more reviews on those once I get them. A cigarette lighter that I bought off Amazon that I have to put in my car, some wire. The next drawer down is snap-on tools and air impacts. So we have a Cobalt 1/2 inch, Cobalt 3/8. It has a swivel on it right about here that I use. I like this swivel. It's plastic, came from Cummins. Works good on this one. The swivel on here was from Cobalt, and I snapped it the first time I used it, so I had to change that up. But it's okay. I broke the snap ring off of here. I'll do a review on this air gun. I'm kind of biased. I love Cobalt stuff, just the way I am. Snap-on 20-volt system that I absolutely love using, or actually 18-volt, I'm sorry. And 3/8 electric impact that gets beaten the fuck up. I use this thing all the time. And then I had another one, or another snap-on tool, had a 1/2 inch impact electric, but my girlfriend is a mechanic and she uses this one, so it's at her shop until she gets an impact. And then I had an electric ratchet, but that got stolen, so you know, good times. And here we've got a drill, corded, I do my taillights with, a pair of 10 snips for taillights, some extra gloves, and a box of impacts. Sockets that are 1/2 inch drive deep well and shallow that I can't seem to fit up in this drawer right here. This drawer here, this is where all my work orders go and snap-on receipts. Usually most of it's underneath of this, but as you can see, everything's been cleaned out because in the last video I mentioned I spring cleaned, and this is just the leftovers. This drawer we have old boxes. I try to keep all my valves for trailers in here. And then in this drawer we have the Fleet Guard filter strap. We have my old snap-on rubber handles that I fucking mangled trying to get off. That's okay. Some tape, an old coil pack, glide hand, some safeties. This is what I air trucks up with. If I can get this trash out of the way. Not the cleanest drawer, so just, yeah. So, take the plug out with that 9mm Allen that was in here, and you're going to put this in, and you'll just open the valve up, and that'll bleed the pressure off, if there is any, which there won't be, because once you take that plug out, all the air is going to shoot out. But put this in, and you hook air up to it, and then if you need to bleed the pressure off, you just open up the ball valve, and it should leak out. Thread sealant from O'Reilly's. This shit fucking blows. Imperial, because that's who supplies us with all of our stuff. And then next drawer down is kind of my personal drawer. I got a dip bottle in here. Dawn dish soap, because the Dawn always goes missing here. Trash bags. These are old fuel filter bags that they come with. We would scrape the fifth wheels and slap grease on and spread it around with a cardboard box like this one. So we'd use those. Some oil, a radiator funnel that has become just a funnel at this point. It doesn't get used for anything but just being a funnel. And then underneath the shirt, we have a hat and some battery cleaner, another bag that fell out of that box, and some air tool cleaner, some wire wheel sticks for, not wire wheel, sanding. Orbital sander, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word. And then a stack of zip ties that I like to use. I like to keep this stuff on me because all of our stuff is usually right here, all that, and then this is where all the sprays go. As you can see, I'm not far from that, but most of the time I either work right in this bay or I work in that bay where those two trucks are parked. So it's kind of neither here nor there. So that would be the bottom. We're going to go to the side now. This creeper, which I mentioned in the first video, pull out for you. Absolutely love. I could not be happier with this thing. It is great. Treated me well. I wish it was green, not orange, but that's beside the point. We have two buckets here. This one has some shit in it that fell out of my box that I just threw in there because I was busy that day. This one I use for draining coolant or oil or whatever I need to drain. We have the Harbor Freight flimsy, real small, real thin sheet metal, but it works. Glove holder, as you can see, I'm out. Been out for about a week now. Just said fuck it and got my hands dirty. Snap-on light. Battery light still sucks. This one needs actually charged, so I can't even turn it on. Then let's move over to this side here. And we've got this. We also store our jack stands and our jacks right next to my toolbox. So getting to stuff is kind of hard. We have spray water bottles. We have to label everything, otherwise it goes missing. Oil sample packages for mailing those off to Cummins. Battery cleaner, PB blaster, and cobalt magnet tray. Works great. As you can see, I'm not a very cleanly person when it comes to my toolbox. Ratchet strap in case I have to move something. That's about it on that. Now we're going to go into my roll cart, which the only reason all this holds all my tools. All my tools are in here with extra space. I could definitely fit more in here, but with me getting tools from school and me forever expanding in the knowledge of this field and doing more stuff, I want to be able to have something else to hold tools. So right now, this is my roll cart. So as you can see, my lovely girlfriend, who's also a mechanic right there, she's pretty bomb. There's this roll cart. This top part does not have anything in it besides, miscellaneous bullshit, some extra clamps. Everything that goes in here is, and some eye stuff, everything that goes in here is paperwork. So while I'm working on a truck, work order, sheet, parts, whatever. And then over here we just hold my snap-on pry bars, strike through, lime green for the win. And I love them. Let's get that. Get back in there. Get back in there. Quit it. You're playing with me. I actually got teased by one of the other mechanics at my shop. And he put white lithium grease through this hole back here. All up this box. You can still see some of the residue. Yep. sprayed it all up the box. Shoved dielectric grease packets into these grooves. That's why these are not these. They're different ones because I had to take this off. Put the dielectric grease in here and squirted it out so this whole thing was covered in dielectric grease. Kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. My Coke, because I love Coke. Cobalt razor blade knife that I just threw in here. Up here we have extra sockets that I still cannot fit into that one drawer. And these are 1/4 inch deep, more like mid-length I'd say. Yeah, mid-length. This is how all the mechanic set from Cobalt comes in this carbon fiber. It does not come any other way. It comes labeled so you know where everything's at, which is great, but also takes up a fuck ton of space for only 4 rails of sockets that you could put from here to here. So make your choice on that. Metric 12-point 1/2 inch drive, SAE 12-point 1/2 inch drive, SAE 6-point 1/2 inch drive. This is SAE 6-point 1/2 inch drive, and this was 3/8 metric. We also have some extra screwdrivers and smaller pliers, some tire plug back there, extra cap, an extra air chuck. In this drawer we have gloves, desiccant filter cap, the old spinner from my truck that I no longer own, a extra Cummins coil, a Blue Point set of automotive filter caps. Don't ever get used what I'm doing now, but for automotive it's great. For my girlfriend's car, for my car, it's great. This thing, everybody says they love them. I guess I'm too stupid to get these to work, so I don't really get all that use out of them, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Pretty nice set though if you're working in you know, automotive and you're an oil change tech or just getting started out. Pick that up, ain't too bad. Next door down, these old sons of bitches. I've used these countless times on big ass air impacts. Never failed me. My grandfather used to own a wholesale company, and my father bought these sockets. These are 1 inch drive, or maybe 3/4. I think they're 3/4. Yeah, 3/4. Sockets all the way up to 2 inch. I don't know why I said fucking 1 inch. They're definitely 3/4. But I use these a lot for wheel seals on steer axles. And that's really about it. I know it's really boring. Air compressor's cutting on. I know it's really boring, not all that amazing, but you know, what can you do? You only get so much that you can buy with little to no money. So we'll see how it goes.